We're supposed to talking to yeah. Okay, well, let's try this again. Good morning. My name is Axel from Carnegie University, the United States. It is my pleasure to co-chair this morning's session with Professor Harold of the Institute of Technology. I would like to start with an announcement. The third paper this morning, paper 0-34, is canceled. So that will actually give us a little bit more time for the other two papers. It is my pleasure to introduce to you our plenary lecturer this morning, Professor Li Huang. Professor Li is currently leader of the Catalyst and Molecular Seed Society, section of the Refining Society of the Chinese Petroleum Society, and president of the Chinese Research Institute of Petroleum Processing, or RIPP. One of RIPP's major research focus is developing petroleum refining and petrochemical processes and related catalysts. Under Professor Li's supervision, many hydrotreating catalysts have been developed in recent years, 8 of which have been put into commercial use. So it is only appropriate that the title of Professor Li's plenary lecture is Research and Development of Novel Hydrotreating Catalysts. The paper is co-authored with Xin Yaowang and Jiang Xinwei. Professor Li.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to talk some words in the field of hydrotreating catalysts and RIPP. As the same in the world, the food war in China are all becoming evident. It is necessary to develop new catalysts with better performance to meet the requirement for deep processes and upgrading and for the environment protection. Chinese crude oil contains lower content of sulfur than Indian crude oil, but usually contains higher content of mercury. So, the development of USG catalysts is high liquid and good stability is the key to the process in China. The topic is research and development of novel hydrotreating catalysts. I would like to give this talk in four parts. The first part is scientific basis of the development of new hydrotreating catalysts. The first question is the inhibition of interaction between E. coli and alumina carrier. Under certain conditions, E. coli will interact with alumina carrier to form phenol and lead to the loss of activity. Therefore, the factors affecting the formation of phenol during eco-constant catalyst preparation and their effect on the pairing activity were studied. The result shows first, eco-constant alumina catalyst prepared by heating method forms phenol easier than that prepared by the fractionation method. Second, as the calcination temperature increases and the calcination time prolongs, the formation of phenol becomes more evident. Third, further studies on various promoters to inhibit the formation of phenol and enhance the active activity has been conducted. It has been found that boron, magnesium, and zinc can inhibit the formation of phenol and increase the active activity. That figure is a UV reflective spectroscopy From that figure we can see, if we put some very small amount water into the horizontal cavity, and inhibit the formation of phenol and increase the activity. The second question is the state of tungsten oxide on the cavity surface. That's a Raman spectroscopy. The base number 970 or 980 are the Raman characteristics of the polygon state. Table 2 shows the polygon state is the active phase on the surface, and Raman with number 5, the activity part of the cavity. The third question is the inhibition of the propagation of the star of the red. It is generally known that the activity of hydrotreating mechanics gradually to a stability level at the start of the ramp, and stability activity depends on the amount of oxygen on the cavity. So, we can see if we make a catalyst, the bulk deposit on the start of the ramp may be slower than the stability activity may be higher. That is the scheme of rock formation on gases. ND means basic naturally containing compounds. DR is bronze oxide. L, fluid oxide. When ND is a big cost, as long as the bronze oxide, then you can continue accomplish an active reaction. But when ND was as long as fluid oxide, then strongly absorbed basic NDL managed from top. So fluid sides are the rock forming centers. That is the base of deposit. The physical is gaseous or lambda, also for video and other physical. You can see from the base, the naturally in the deposit more than in the physical. After adding chloride to catalyst, a substantial increase in activity and stability was observed. It may be an attribute to the presence of an pure electron on chloride, which can be bonded to good side. This arrangement will prevent basic naturally containing compounds from being and blue side. The absorption of foreign ion in the above mentioned level then decrease the concentration of the foreign centers. Hence, the resistance to formation of the coordinate legal constant aluminum catalyst. The length of our catalyst in the long period of that. The lyrics show that above explanation is presentable. In that table is the date of formation after consultant and mathematics are development trend. The feedstock is SaO. SaO is light cycle oil. You can see Armand catalyst of devoted faster than competitive chemistry. Based on a long series of fundamental studies, a new legal constant by hydrotreating catalyst named Armand was developed. The commercial Armand catalyst poses high HN50, HN50 in aromatic separation. It is suitable for hydrotreating of straight distillate and secondary process distillate. Table 5 is the properties of commercial Armand catalyst. In that table, catalyst ABCDE are competitive catalysts in the world market. Armand catalyst belongs to no constant catalyst. The performance of a commercial Armand catalyst performance as follows. First, high activity. That is the development advantage. The feedstock is simply HCO. At the same reaction condition, if chemistry activity is 100, then Armand catalyst is 255. Also, Armand catalyst poses high activity. Second is good stability. That is the stability type result of Armand catalyst and competitive catalyst E. The feedstock is HCO, it means vacuum gas oil. That element is for hydrotreating feedstock. So, in that hydrotreating test, we can show gas volume content in the product lower than 10 ppm, For 1,000 hours range, we can see Armand catalyst retain its activity better in the long-term range than competitive catalyst E. And at the same after 1,000 hours range, at the same activity, Armand catalyst with the reaction temperature 10 degrees centigrade lower than catalyst E. The third part is about commercial application of R9 credits. Because R9 credit poses high activity for SDN, SDS, and aromatic saturation, and versatility and strength, it has been authorized to hydrotreating units of various speeds. Since it was first used in commercial, in MCRCO hydrotreating unit was controlled petrochemical works in April 1987. Up to March 1993, our mechanics have been used in 24 commercial units for various feedstocks. Up to March 1993. Till now, there are altogether 31 commercial units which have gone into operation or are under construction and in design. Their total capacity is more than 10 million tons per year. The technical commercial rental are falling into time or 10. That is the control petrochemical work, commercial rental, capital days. The pressure is lower on the 3 points to the back. At that reactive condition, for the product, you can see FTS activity is 94%, FTN 90%. That unit is the first commercial unit for our mechanics. Started from 1987 till now, our mechanics also ran at that commercial unit, and the product quality is very good. Then also the technical commercial mandate, but the date from Jinzhou Petrochemical Company, the feedstock is proper distillation. You can see the product quality also is very good. Sulfur in the product is very low, only 2 ppm, and the color is 0.5, and the 30 member is high, 67. The other question is about low sulfur and low aromatic mixture fuel. Nowadays, the question becomes one of the major subjects for the refining industry in the world. Due to environmental force, chemical research are being pushed to develop patches with improved performance to meet changing environmental standards. United States regulates the sulfur lower than 500 ppm and aromatic content lower than 20% in the diesel fuel. For chemical research, there is a good opportunity, but also is a new challenge, which means new chemical technology that can be rapidly incorporated into existing equipment in refinery. Reducing sulfur with existing chemicals requires operating at high temperature and pressure, but this is not entirely effective on aromatics. So refiners are looking for high activity, longer life SDS and aromatic saturation chemicals that work in existing units. Because aromatic acid poses high activity for SDN, SDS, and aromatic saturation, it is suitable delayed. Water gets water and so on. In that table, the feedstock is clear, is delayed. In fact, the feedstock aromatic is not very high, only 21%. So, use aromatic acid. The pressure is not is low, only 3.2, and the speed velocity is high, 3. And that reaction condition in the product, the sulfur 21 ppm, and the aromatic content is near 60%. It increases the pressure to 8.5. And that reaction condition in the product aromatic content is very low, only 1.6%. For the other feedstock, such as light or oil, the aromatic content in the feedstock is 23%. At bigger pressure, such as 5.9 and up, in the product, the aromatic content 14.4%. But for the chemical feedstock, such as hydrotreating, because in that feedstock, aromatic content is very high, more than 50%. If you use aromatic acid hydrotreating, also we need the aromatic lower 20%, then pressure must be 12.5. And that reaction condition, aromatic content can reach 50%. The last part related to the hydrotreating candy series. Since 1980s, a series of hydrotreating candies has been successfully developed by RSDP. That is put together 11 series, and all together 16 hydrotreating candies have been developed by RIPT. And in that table, there are 7 different types of hydrotreating candies have been commercial. The first is the filtration hydrotreating candy, RT. The hydrotreating feedstock in the table 12 is poor in their field. The aromatic content is as high as 50.2%. For this type of feedstock, the reaction pressure must be very high, for instance, 12.5. Then the content of aromatic can be reduced to lower than 20%. And the space velocity is only 1/3 than the HO feedstock. It is clear that new technology is needed to produce more amount of clear reserve fuel from SSRCO and to reduce the severity of reaction And for monoaromatic, saturation is very difficult at pressure, at either pressure. And then from the group, from that table group composition, aromatic in antibacterial hydrotreating with aromatic at interpressure reaction. Aromatic, most aromatic converted to monoaromatic. So it is clear that because of the thermodynamics, aromatic in feedstock can only be saturated to monoaromatic besides change substitutes like paraffin or naphthenic substitutes in the range of reaction conditions. It is proven that the saturation rate of monoaromatic is affected by the amount of substituents or common number of the substituents. In order to further saturate it to monoaromatic, the reaction pressure must be higher in the temperature range usually used in hydrotreatment. And this is not good for economy. However, if the substituent is cracked to reduce the sterility into and during hydrogenation, the saturation can be further accurate. And in this way, because of activity of cracking catalyst, heavier feedstock can be converted to light and or middle fraction. It is more naphtha or diesel. About discussion can be simply expressed as follows. In the for or red aromatic, first step is saturation converted to monoaromatic with substituting. For step 1, if continue cracking reaction, then monoaromatic can further saturation to non-aromatic. That reaction can occur at either pressure, but for step 2 must be either at higher pressure. On the day of discussion on cracking reaction repair and meter pressure, a new technology, MSQT process, it is medium pressure hydrotreating was developed. In this process, blend of antibacterial and filtrate was used as feedstock, and 2 catalysts were used. In 2 reactors connect directly. R1 was removed, sulfur naturally and aromatic, used in refined form, and R2 specially developed for hydrotreating. R1 has a high activity of SEN, so the influence after R1 and then low naturally, and is good for the cracking catalyst. R2 catalyst because two catalysts are used in MX2G process. The yield of either or reforming feedstock can be flexible, adjusting by energy. Adjusting the reaction condition, more than 20 types of feedstock per test in chemistry according to different work plans. Commercial test was carried out in the existing unit in Daqing petrochemical works since October 1992. The commercial results supplement those obtained from development tests, indicating the successful application of this technology. In addition, the successful practice of MX2G process using one reactor instead of two cells, a good example for preventing the existing refining units for MX2G process. The commercial unit has been operated very well since October 1992. The product quality is stable. The next is flat and microcrystalline flat refining gases. RK series are nickel content aluminum gases, but there are no content negative oxide present on aluminum surface. Just like above mentioned, negative oxide functions to inhibit formation of atom and enhance the hydrogenation activity. We can carry with the gases that special for that refining available in the world market. At the same refining level after 1,000 or kilogram the reaction temperature of RJ1 is 10 degrees centigrade lower than gases that 81st to know that RJ1 gases can be used to many kinds of fat from different sources. Gases RJ1 has been commercial application since April 1992. That is today from G-Man Refinery. That is the startup date since April 1992. That is from November 1992. We can see at the same reaction conditions, the product quality is very good. All reach the specification of food grade, especially for FDA. FDA means polymer aromatic pressure hydrotreating. If the physical is inferior VGO, it means contains some metal or ash. You can see for the bridge cutting edge, the surface is 136, but after 376 grams, then cutting edge, the coffee movement is 11%, and the surface only 8. But if we put 9% RT1 cutting on the top of cutting edge, after the same time frame, the coffee movement only 5.2%, and the cutting edge surface is 104. Also, if we only use argument package to do the development test, also at a bigger pressure and the space velocity is very high, and that the reaction condition for C5 insoluble removal 100%, for carbon removal 75%, and gas activity 31%. Nowadays, RT1 has been successful packaged in 4 refineries. The next is lubricating oil and lubricating catalyst, RA1. That is the last catalyst because it's the time having. So, thank you very much.
This paper is now open for discussion. Are there any questions or comments? James, go ahead.
Please and the contract that having found a new report. My question is right. What's the result of these two and exercises anti-vegan reactions? And how to control the relative number of these two kinds of exercises in your collect data?
You mean smart manufacturing?
What's the rule of the reach and from the exercise in the reaction of agitation? And
Action.
and how to control the number of this and exercise in the preparation of the lesson?
You mean activity?
Taiwan from National University to Taiwan. You just mentioned that for RE1 catalyst, the monoparticle ending is not easy to separate due to the thermodynamics consideration. Did you try to divide your process into two steps? The first step is running at 350 to remove the salt surface. Then the next step, you lower the temperature, say 250 centigrade, that will be more thermodynamic better. Is your catalyst in that temperature still active to separate singly aromatics?
It means for HGGOR, for interview hydrotreating. Yeah. So, because I just said for aromatic saturation, it depends on the thermodynamic control. If the aromatic, if the reaction temperature is lower, it is for aromatic saturation maybe is useful. So we must develop a high aromatic high activity for aromatic saturation catalyst. Because aromatic catalyst has very high activity also for aromatic saturation activity. But for FCCl, that's a feedstock, because that feedstock, the aromatic content is more than 50%. So if we only use aromatic catalyst, that in the feedstock there are a lot of monoaromatic cannot conversion. So we must develop a new technology. It means MHUG for